As part of the present administration's efforts to curtail the spread of coronavirus COVID-19 ravaging the country and the world at large, Edo State Ministry of Education, in collaboration with Edo Broadcasting Service (EBS) and Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools (ASUSS), is organizing a television program for students in senior secondary schools, particularly those writing the West African Senior School Certificate Examination (WASE), the National Examination Council (NECO), and National Business and Technical Examination Board (NAPTEB) for the year 2020 in the months of May, June, and July. The program will be held on EBS television channel every day from 12 noon to 1 p.m. beginning from Monday, April 6, 2020. The subjects selected for these programs are Mondays Mathematics, Tuesdays English Language, Wednesdays Physics, Thursdays Biology, Fridays Geography, Saturdays Civic Education and Economics, and Sunday Chemistry. Parents and guardians are therefore advised to draw the attention of their children or wards to this opportunity during the stay-at-home period.
Good day, viewers at home. I am Chief Dighijor Raphael, your instructor on biology today. And the topic we are going to treat is ecology. You know, biology, as you have been told or you have studied from your SS1, even from your JS1 to 3, in basic science, we have studied the living things along with characteristics of living things. And biology, as we define it, is a subject that studies living things, both animal and plant. And today, we are talking about the topic ecology. And we have said the definition of ecology says that ecology is defined as the study of all living things in relationship to their environment. And we as human beings are all inclusive because we are all animals, but of the higher animals. So we define ecology as the study of interrelationship between organisms and their external environment. Yes, because all of us will live in a particular place. And where you live is your environment. And in this topic, ecology, we are going to learn some terms associated with it. So we are going to put them down and explain them to your own understanding relating to environment. So what we are teaching today, children at home or candidates specifically for the 2020 WAEC and NECO, you must be attentive because you are going to achieve more from this topic. So we are going to put the terms concerned about this topic, ecology. So we have here, okay, we're taking them bit by bit. Now here on the board, we have what we call the ecosystem. We have population, we have habitat. And what we mean by the ecosystem is the general study of all living things living together in their environment. That is what we call the ecosystem. And when we come to population is known as the species of animals or plants living in a particular environment. And when we mean population and species, you know, like here in our game reserve, in our Via Southwest local government, there is an animal game reserve. If you get there, we have different types of animals, and we have monkeys to say. And when you get there, the organization over there are capitalizing on a particular type of a monkey, which they call the white-throated monkey. So, to say the population of monkeys there, we're talking about the species of monkey. So when we talk about this, when we say population, then we want to know the number of white-throated monkeys in that forest, in that game reserve, not just monkey as a whole. That's what we mean by population in ecological study. Then when we come to habitat, habitat is a place where an animal can be found in an ecosystem. And we have animals, they're having different characteristics where they live as a result of what we can say adaptation, which is part of ecology. So when we talk about habitat, it's where an organism can be found. And as a result, we have types of habitat. We have what? Type of habitat. So let us go to the board to see. Now we have these three types of habitats. We have the habitat, we have the aquatic habitat, we have the arboreal habitat. And the terrestrial habitat deals with animals, studies animals mainly on land. So on land we have the grasses, the trees. So any animal found on the land where it is called a terrestrial habitat. And for this aquatic means water. All animals living in water, that is the river, stream, pond, the ocean, and the rest of them. So far, they are living in water. They are all called terrestrial, where they live are called terrestrial habitats. Then when we come to arboreal, this arboreal is concerned with the air, animals living on the air. They are not just living there, but their life are suspended all around. So their area of living mostly is on top of trees. And specifically what we know, the type of animals that live on our trees are mostly birds. We have some climbers, but they are up and down, so we cannot classify them into arboreal birds. They are mostly the birds. They are in an arboreal habitat. So thereafter, we are going to take another type of habitats. That is another term to say. So we have here, let us name this as 1, Roman figure 1, 2, then 3. Then the other one, we can take what we call a niche. Now, a niche is also where an animal lives in the ecosystem. Now, a niche can be defined as where a particular, not just an animal, but where a particular animal can be found. Like at home or in our villages, people will say, let us go and look for snail. In case of going to the forest to look for snail, which area do you go? The area you go is a thick forest where the area is so dark, very cold. That is the area you go to find your snail. And when you get there, you'll be lucky to find snails. And that is the needs of the snail. Also, maybe we are going to say, let us go and look for mushroom. So going to look for mushroom, you look for area where we have decayed plants. Like maybe somebody felled a palm tree, and that palm tree is decaying. And when you go to that area, you're able to fetch a palm tree. And there, that is the place mushroom can grow conveniently. And what do they do there? Why are they growing? Why snail can be found in a dark place? Because snails feed on decayed materials. Also, the mushroom feed on decayed plants organs, and they are called saprophytes because their roots help them to feed from the decaying organic material. Also, in relation to human being, we as human beings. Now, the ascaris, which is the worm found in our intestines, in the digestive tract of the human being, the ascaris is only found in the stomach. It's not found in the small intestines. And why is the ascaris living there? They are living there because that is the place that is convenient for them to even get their food nutrients from their host. They use their body parts to suck in the nutrients each host has taken. So that is where you can find the ascaris. And another good study of ecology of, say, a niche of an organism is in a plant. If you go out on excursion and you said, let us look for the insect called aphid and the caterpillar of a butterfly. If you get to a particular plant, you will find the caterpillar and the aphid at different points on the same plant. The caterpillar can be found on top of the caterpillar is found on top of the leaves, definitely. And you see the aphid at the apex of the young succulent part of the plant. Why are they living there? Their role play there is that the caterpillar feeds on the leaves of the plant, while the aphid sucks the nutrient, which is what they call the sap of the plant through the young tender end of the plant. So that is what we call the niche. So when organism is living there, not only living there, the role play of that organism in that place. So we call it the niche of an organism. So another one here is we talked about the community. Now, community is a combination of all organisms living in a particular area. Now, we have community of people, community of insects, community of rabbit, community of grasscutter, different animals, or even plants. They are all living, they are found in a particular area. So we said there is a community of organisms. So that's what we mean by the community of an organism in ecology. When we come to the ecological study, we talk about community. Your mind should be taken back to know that there are too many group of species living together in that area. Whether they influence one another, but they are living there. So we are going to come to those points where they interact, either positively or negatively. And thereafter, we want to talk about the biosphere. Now, the biosphere is a place occupied by all living things. Now, the whole world, maybe Edo State as a whole, is a biosphere. The whole world is a biosphere because it's being occupied by all living things, both plants and animals. So that is where they call a biosphere. And that place occupied is, the biosphere is for only the living things. It's not for non-living things. So in a world, as the astronomers told us about Apollo 11, said over there is no life. But anywhere life is a biosphere, both plants and animals. It's called what? A biosphere. Then we have what we call an environment. Now we can say, now, this environment is not conducive, this is environment, this environment. Now, environment includes everything, every living thing, where they are is environment. And that surrounding of organism, where we call environment, there are living and non-living things. The living ones, we call them biotic. The non-living is called abiotic. These are factors existing in an environment, and they have influence. The biotic and abiotic, they all have influence on the living things, either positive or negatively. We are going to see through. Now, another one we have is a lithosphere. Now, the lithosphere is the environment all on this earth that has the land. The land aspect, the landed aspect of the earth is called the lithosphere. And this is where we are living today. We are animals, plants, they are all living on the lithosphere. So the earth is one. I mean the earth, and we call it the land. The earth generally, but where we live is called the land. And thereafter, we still have what we call the hydrosphere. The hydrosphere. Now, the hydrosphere is concerned with all bodies of water that living things have been found. And if you talk about the hydrosphere, you will see that it's about water. The sea, the ocean, the stream, the pond, the rivers, they are all called hydrosphere. So after this, we are going to talk about one after the other, explaining them. Then thereafter, the 10th one, we have the atmosphere. Now, the atmosphere is also where we live. And this is concerned with the sky, where we have the volume of air, which is also enveloping all of us. That area above the land is called the atmosphere, and it's mostly occupied by air of various content. Then, number 11, we have the biomass. Now, the biomass is the same thing like the community, but we have a group of communities. Communities are grouped together. They are living in a particular area, and that area is called a biomass. Number 12, now we have the horticulture. Ecology, this is mainly the study of one particular species of organism. When you want to carry out the horticultural study of organism, you talked about horticulture. Excuse me, horticulture. Because in ecological study, is mostly of going out of your class to study a specific animal. Maybe we can go to the fields, say, let us know the species of grasshopper around our school premise. We can go out to see, say, what type, what specific insect are we looking for? So we are looking for a specific a species of grasshopper. So what maybe you can capture one, we say this is the species we are not looking for. So that type of study, based on only one species of an organism, is called horticulture. And thereafter, we still have too many. Now, what we have here is syncology. Now, syncology, what does it mean? Now, is the study of many species in relation to their environment. Now, you can go out on an excursion to study too many living organisms. When you study them, you don't always study their personal characteristics, but how they influence the environment. That is what we call syncology. When you study that this does this to this, you are studying what we call syncology of living things. And thereafter, we have scene dynamics. Scene dynamics. Now, how do we carry out the study of this? Now, scene dynamics, let us explain it from our own base. Now, here in Nigeria, in Agric, we do farming and we talk about maybe preservation of land. That is a land following a system. If we farm here this year, maybe after this year we leave it and go to other places for it to say fallow. And how does it fallow? Now you see that if you farm there and after weeding, destroying all the grasses, we leave it there for say 3 years or more. And how does these plants grow? You see that if you get there, they may start from the mosses, the ferns, to herbs, from herbs to smaller trees, from smaller trees you get to bigger one, and even to the big one, very big one that can be used for plants. Now, if Idia College, this school ground is abandoned, or any school ground, even your compound is abandoned, and you leave it, and come back maybe 7 years' time, you see palm trees growing there. So that study of one species of plant, when it's growing, when the bigger ones come, the other ones will go into extinct. Gradually, you see the changes is taking place, and you there, maybe 7 years' time, you see there maybe baby trees, different type of trees which you don't plant. So that study is what we call scene dynamics, because it's a gradual movement from one species of animal to the other. So thereafter, we still have what we call scene taxonomy. Now, from the study of agric science, taxonomy is one of the basic topic they study. Now, this scene taxonomy is a way of naming organisms, and the naming of organisms is taking place through their characteristics. either the body structure in relation to the environment, or how they go, how they produce, year in, year out, how they maybe change their body structures and the rest of them, and their uses. So that one is based on the taxonomy of the study of living things, both plants and animals. So thereafter we still have, I think we end here giving you the 16th one, and I will go into other aspects of ecology, and that is syngamy. Now, syngamy, what does this mean? Now, these are things that have been happening in our communities. You will see some species of animals being different from what we used to see. Like we have the domestic cat, we have the bush cat, we have the bush dog, we have the bush dog, and the domestic dog. But the bush dog biologically is called wild dog. While that we call the bush cat is the wild cat. And you will see a practical occurrence. You may see in the villages, cats will be entering, our bushes to go and fend for food. Sometimes they capture rabbit and they eat. In cause of doing that, this wild cat do meet them. They meet, and by the time maybe there's no male cat in the community, but what you see, your female cat is pregnant, and when it gives birth, you will see, different type of cat in what they call alleles. That is color, different color. Your cat may be white, black, but the offspring will come out with maybe so variegated colors on their body. This is as a result of the wild cat and the domestic cat, which are of the same group of animals, but they are different species. They can give birth to young ones. That is what we call hybridization. They can carry out hybridization. The same thing we can see from our agricultural end and that of the native crop, or the native end and the agricultural crop can meet to produce young ones. So this is the study. That's what we call syngamy. And this also happens like the history of these dogs. These wild dogs, they rear big men, let us put it like that, and GRAs, and then you see the big dogs, they rear. We call them English dogs. As the history goes, that they are not English dogs. It's a crossbreeding between the native, the domestic dog, and the wild dogs, which some they call, I don't know, many names they call them, in the desert. So that is where these dogs are being produced from. Not that they are English dogs. The white man tamed them, used the native one to this corner, maybe tie them, and these wild dogs from the desert, they will meet with them and produce them. So that is the ecology, which we call the study syngamy. So they are alike, they are the same species, but different, living in different environments, but they can interbreed to bring young ones. So I think we stop there with the terminology of ecology we have today. Furthermore, we want to talk about our local biotic communities, or the biomass. Local biotic communities or biomass. It's a local biotic community or biomass. And this topic, we are going to so much limit ourselves to our immediate national environment as needed by the WAEC syllabus and that of NEPO. So we are going to talk mainly about Nigeria environment. And in taking that, we are going to take up 3 biotic communities, which is always appearing in our SS3 exams in both WAEC and NEPO, which we are doing. So one, we have the tropical rainforest, we have the swamp estuaries, and the other one, we have the savanna forest. So here, we are going to put them down as one. We have the tropical rainforest, we have the swamp stroke estuaries, and the other one, we have the savanna. So these are the needed area in our final year exam, which always come out. And what do we know about the tropical rainforest? So, like what we are saying about the local biotic communities or biomass, we are treating these 2 main ones that are of concern in the syllabus. And starting from the tropical rainforest, as we have said that we have it here in Edo State, and is part of the Okomu forest and of their southwest local government mostly. If once you go there for an escort, you will see that it is the vegetation, that is the group of plants there. We have very tall trees which are above 60 meters. Some are 40, some are 30, just like that. They decrease down after above that highest level. And not only that, we have also underground too many. If you enter the forest, you see too many creepers and climbers on these trees. Very many and very interesting if you get there to see for yourself. And these 3, one interesting thing, you see that they are tall. We have tall trees. And thereafter, we still have too many animals which we can find there. We have the elephant, we have the antelope, the squirrels, and other arboreal animals like the eagle, the hornbill, and the rest of them. Even the guinea fowl, they are there. Guinea fowl is not only found in the north, but it's also found in our rainforest, which I have also personally seen flying and laying their eggs. So that is the rainforest. And after the rainforest, we have the swamp and the estuaries. We have the savanna. Now let me treat the characteristics of this rainforest first before we can go into the swamp and estuaries. Now, the characteristics of this rainforest is that if you get there, the trees, they have the stem of the trees are very, very straight. And on getting there, you see the canopy of trees. So that those canopy, they have a very, very fine shape. That when there's rainfall, if you go to the bottom of any trees, you are just covered as if with you have an umbrella. That is one characteristic of the tropical rainforest trees you can find. And the back of the trees are very light and very smooth. That's another characteristic. And we have also climbers and creeping plants underneath. That after the type of animals there are, we have elephant, we have a tiger, we have antelope, and the rest of crocodiles, snakes, and birds. They are also there in the tropical forest. And the type of wood, we can name the iroko, the mahogany, the obeche, and the rest of them. They are found in the tropical rainforest, which we are saying that Edo State is very lucky to have it. As a result, the state is producer of plants, which other states are coming to buy. And that after, let us talk about the swamp and the estuaries. Now, the swamp area of this biotic community is only found at the delta end of Nigeria. When you get there, the land mass is filled with water, always wet, and you cannot freely trek on it. When you trek, you'll be submerged. That is the swamp. So it's found in the delta area of Edo State. And what do we call the estuaries? Now, this place can be only understood by anybody that must have been there. If maybe you may read, that is why ecology, the study of ecology, mostly is attached with escort. We want candidates, if the money is there, and which we are encouraging in schools, that if you come to the teaching of ecology, you must take students to this area to see for themselves, so that it will be retentive in their memory. Now, where they call the estuaries is where the fresh water and the sea water meet. Now, we have one estuary very conspicuously at the Edo Delta end. If you get there, our Ovia River and some other river they join, that is the Lagos Warri River, they join together, which is the fresh water, and they travel out to join part of the Atlantic Ocean. At that place, you see what they call estuaries. And when you get there, you will see that one, let us talk about the characteristics. We are saying that estuary is where fresh water and salt water meet. But the characteristics for you to know is that when you get there, the water is always dirty. Very, very dirty. It's not clean. Because there are deposits from the fresh water to that extent. And when these two water meet, the area is very dirty. And the water is very black. And a lot of debris. What can you see there? You see that most animals can never live there, because it's a difficult place for organisms to live because of the situation. And even the water current sometimes is wilding, so it's difficult for animals like the fish or the aquatic animals to live there. So you see less varieties or species of animal. It's a place we call estuaries. And in that area, what type of plants do we see? The type of plants we can see are the red mangrove and the white mangrove. They can survive there because the red mangroves have what we call area roots, which they will grow up from the stem, they will pull down stems into water to breathe. And the white mangroves have breathing roots. From the bottom, those ones shoot out to take air for the plant. So these are the type of typical plants you can see in where they call the estuaries. So the savanna is to the north. So there we have open grasses, we have population of vegetation very dense, less dense, sparsely placed, and you see turtle grasses, and you see other wild animals, snakes, and the rest of them. So that is the savannah. Now, for time's sake, we can recall and make a little summary of what we have learned. And here, we've talked about the definition of ecology as the study of organisms in relation to their environment. Then we've talked about terms associated with the study of ecology, which are the ecosystem, the population. We talked about habitat, and we talked about types of habitat. We talked about the terrestrial habitat, the aquatic habitat, and the arboreal habitat. And we've said the type of organisms that live in these types of habitats. So thereafter we talked about the means where a particular animal can be found, and not just be found, what it does, its relationship with that environment. So that anytime you are looking for that animal, as we said, you go directly to that type of a place to find that animal, not just anywhere to find it. Then we talked about community as a group of living things living together in a particular environment. We talked about biosphere as also the general open space of animal where we live, particularly the land and the earth where people live. The environment is the same thing, related. The lithosphere, we talked about the landmass where we can find organisms or where organisms live. Hydrosphere, we are talking about water-related ecological study. Atmosphere is the sky, the land above us, the air, the volume of air that we are living with. The environment, we explain ecology, syncology, scene dynamics, scene taxonomy, and scene gaming. We've explained this. And thereafter we talked about the local biotic communities or biomes, which is, I said, is related to our country here in Nigeria, which is of interest of the final year certificate exams. So we talked about tropical rainforest. We talked about where we can find it. We can find out in a place like Edo. Edo is number one. We talk about Ogondo and all this area. Lagos is covered with the tropical rainforest. Then the swamp, estuaries. We talk about also this area, but specifically to the river. That is talk about Delta, Calabar, part of Ondo, Ogun, and Lagos. That is what we see. Then when we talk about savannah, the savannah region is always to the north. So viewers at home, with time, we are going to end here. In our subsequent lecture, we are going to continue to give you the character. We have said about the characteristics. We talked about the grassland with the savannah, and we talked about the southern Guinea savanna, the northern Guinea savanna, and the Sudan savanna and the Sahel savanna. So we are going to discuss this, and we'll talk about their characteristics. Thereafter, we'll go into the ecological factors. We have specific ecological factors that affect each organism, and this effect has given them a type of characteristics which they always behave. So we are going to study the biotic factors that affect animals both in the terrestrial habitat, aquatic habitat, and the arboreal habitat. So for today's lecture, we end here.